No babysitter could manage the dragon prince's tantrums until a human janitor made him laugh. The imperial palace of Dracoria stood as a monument to ancient power, its obsidian spires piercing the crimson sky like the talons of some sleeping god. Within its crystalline halls, chaos reigned in the form of a single, small figure, Prince Dracor, heir to the dragon throne, destroyer of 17 royal tutors and the most feared child in 3 galaxies. Evan pushed his cleaning cart down the corridor, whistling an old earth tune as he mopped the scorched marble floors. The human janitor had worked at the palace for 6 months now, invisible to most of the nobility who passed him daily. He preferred it that way. Less drama, more peace. And the pay was decent enough to send credits back home to Luna Colony. A thunderous roar echoed through the east wing, followed by the sound of shattering glass. Evan sighed. That would be the young prince again. Please, Your Highness. A Valkyrian nanny, the 43rd by Evan's count, fled past him, her 6 arms clutching singed robes. I cannot. I will not. This is impossible. Evan watched her disappear around the corner, then calmly wheeled his cart toward the source of the commotion. The prince's playroom door hung crooked on its hinges, smoke curling from beneath it like dragon's breath. Which technically it was. Inside, Prince Dracor sat amidst the wreckage of what had once been an educational hologram projector. The young dragon, no more than 50 years old, practically a toddler by draconian standards, had his arms crossed over his scaled chest, golden eyes blazing with defiance. His wings, still too small for flight, twitched with barely contained energy. I hate learning about the galactic trade regulations, Dracor bellowed, a small plume of fire punctuating his declaration. It's boring. Evan set down his mop and surveyed the damage with the practiced eye of someone who'd cleaned up far worse. You know, he said conversationally, pulling out his datapad, you're actually behind schedule on your tantrums today. By my calculations, you should have melted at least 3 more tutors by noon. Dracor's rant died in his throat. He stared at the human, confusion replacing rage. What? Just saying. Evan began picking up debris with unhurried movements. Last Tuesday you managed 5 meltdowns before lunch. Today, only 2. I'm a little disappointed, Your Highness. I was hoping to break my personal cleaning record. The prince's jaw worked silently, unsure how to respond to someone who wasn't cowering, fleeing, or lecturing him about royal dignity. You're not afraid of me. Evan glanced up from a pile of melted plastic. Should I be? You're what, 4 feet tall? I've faced scarier things in the palace bathrooms, trust me. A strange sound emerged from Dracor, something between a growl and a laugh. I am the Dragon Prince. I am the most powerful, heir to the throne, destroyer of worlds, etc. Evan waved dismissively. Look, kid, can I level with you? This whole temper tantrum thing? It's getting old. You've gone through more nannies than I've got cleaning supplies, and let me tell you, I've got a lot of cleaning supplies. Dracor's wings drooped slightly. For the first time in months, he looked less like a fearsome dragon prince and more like a lonely child. They don't understand, he muttered. They treat me like I'm made of glass or like I'm some kind of monster. Nobody just talks to me. Evan sat down on an overturned chair, meeting the prince's eyes at his level. That's because they're terrified, Your Highness. Not of you burning them, though that's part of it, but of your parents. The Emperor and Empress aren't exactly known for their forgiving nature when it comes to their son's care. So you're not afraid of my parents either? Dracor asked, a hint of hope in his voice. Oh, I'm absolutely terrified of your parents, Evan admitted cheerfully. But here's the thing, I'm just a janitor. Worst case scenario, they fire me. And I go back to mopping floors somewhere else in the galaxy. Your tutors and nannies? They're high-born with reputations to maintain. Me, I clean up space whale dung for a living? My expectations are refreshingly low. A laugh, a real, genuine laugh, burst from Dracor's throat. It was such an unexpected sound that even the prince seemed surprised by it. Evan grinned. There we go, see? You can make sounds other than roaring and threatening to incinerate people. That's progress. You're weird, Dracor declared, but his tone was warm rather than insulting. I'm human, Evan corrected. We specialize in weird. Now how about this? You help me clean up this mess you made. Yes. Help. Dragons need to learn responsibility too, and I'll tell you about Earth. The real stuff, not the sanitized history they probably taught you. Dracor perked up immediately. Really, I've always wanted to know about Earth. They say humans are the craziest species in the galaxy. We prefer creatively unpredictable, Evan said, handing the prince a smaller broom he kept for tight spaces. Did you know that on Earth we had something called extreme ironing? People would take their ironing boards to dangerous places, mountaintops, while skydiving underwater, just to iron clothes. For fun, that's insane, Dracor exclaimed, starting to sweep up broken hologram fragments. Exactly, and that's just the beginning. As they worked together, Evan launched into stories of humanity's strangest moments. The Great Emu War of Australia, the man who sold the Eiffel Tower twice, the woman who survived 3 shipwrecks including the Titanic. With each tale, Dracor's laughter grew louder and more frequent. They were so engrossed in their conversation that neither noticed the ornate doors sliding open until a commanding voice froze them both. What? Empress Silrathus demanded, her massive draconic form filling the doorway. Is happening here? Evan straightened slowly, broom still in hand. This was it, the moment he got vaporized or exiled to the outer rim. But before he could speak, Dracor rushed forward. Mother, this is Evan. He's teaching me about Earth history. And did you know humans once fought a war against birds and lost? And he's not scared of me, and he treats me like I'm normal, and we're cleaning together. The Empress's eyes narrowed, scanning the room. It was indeed mostly clean. More importantly, her son was smiling, genuinely smiling, for the first time in months. You're the human janitor, she stated, her tone unreadable. Yes, Your Majesty, Evan replied, deciding that honesty was his only play. I apologize if I've overstepped. Oh, you're hired, Evan blinked. I'm sorry. As my son's personal attendant, Empress Silrathus clarified. Clearly, you possess some quality that 43 highly trained caregivers lacked. Whatever you're doing, continue doing it. But Mother, Dracor interjected, Evan's not a tutor or a nanny. He's whatever we need him to be, the Empress said firmly. Then softer, she added, he's someone who makes you laugh, Dracor. That's worth more than all the credentials in the galaxy. As the Empress departed, Evan looked down at the young prince who was practically vibrating with excitement. So, Dracor said, grinning widely enough to show all his fangs, does this mean you'll tell me more stories? About the time humans sent a car into space? Or when they domesticated wolves just because they were cute? Evan laughed, ruffling the scales on the prince's head, a gesture that would have gotten anyone else incinerated. Kid, I've got a whole planet's worth of crazy human stories. But first we finish cleaning.
Deal? Deal!
Dracor agreed enthusiastically. As they worked side by side, the legendary dragon prince and the humble human janitor, an unlikely friendship took root in the halls of the imperial palace. One built not on fear or formality, but on laughter, honesty, and the universal truth that sometimes the best solutions come from the most unexpected places. And for the first time in living memory, the East Wing remained tantrum-free for an entire week.